Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, getting even. Won't beat with fear. Taking over, nigga. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. Don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm repped out, tell them watch your mouth. You know we gon' bend your block. I'ma walk in time bomb. I go viral. You niggas like TikTok, yeah. This ain't what you want. Tell them throw in the towel. We make niggas hit the clock. And with our toe fire, rain brimstone. They gon' think that you live a lie. We ain't got no picks. We want it all. We gon' make you pick a spot. We knocking on the door, so let us in. Or you know we gon' pick the locks. We in the field for real. Every day while y'all just say watch. We making enemies our foot stores. Run no nothing by the op. It take one try when I rock out. I'm like David when I sling shots. I'm putting attachments on everything. Y'all want me connect the dots. This drum got 50 unreleased hits. You don't want to be the next to drop. I put them in a box and make that shit double wood. You don't want to be the next to flop. Yeah. Niggas feeling themselves. Get a shovel, tell them dig the plot. Can't fit you and your man's in it. Just tell them get a bigger box. Cause I'll put you in one and knock you out one. Call up my nigga knock. I'll put your song on, cut it on mute, and then tell you that shit was hot. Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, getting even. Won't beat with fear. Taking over, nigga. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. Don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. Big soldier, nigga. I come in the name of the boss. So my niggas that is wartime. Already wait the calls. That point shoot bitch. Red Dead Redemption. Got them niggas scared to whisper. Is you with us or against us? Can't stop to the zone lock. I don't think get the picture. It come from my head, I'm giving them lead. The preacher give them a scripture. Flow cold style vicious. Niggas sweeter than the missus. Got soldiers posted. I put them on your roof. Merry Christmas. Bring hither and slay him. Got the Glock, got the book of loot. Keep it stick like Dumbledore. Play dumb, I'ma let it loose. Call my gun Harmony. Call my main bitch Betty Boop. He the truth, I'ma need the proof. Got stripes like Beetlejuice. Hit his ass like a Louisville. Hit him low, then I hit him high. Bring him home to the umpire. Give him bars like Wi-Fi. Turn the booth to a bonfire. Little bitch, I'm a live wire. I ride like a car tire. It's on mine when I ride by. Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, getting even. Won't beat with fear. Taking over, nigga. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. Don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I heard they coming for blood, I'ma be coming for more. Give me the floor, they better come with a mop. I'ma be making it pour. Nigga, I'm raw, fly with the hammer like Thor. Found on my ops in the morgue, tell I'm a four. I'ma be bombing these lanes, understand how it war. I've been the lead, time to get back in the street. Time to get back on my feet, had time to read. Check out, we came from the east, wait till my dogs are released. Heard they was asleep, so we gon' wake them up. Put them up in the sky, the Lord gon' take them up. I take on anybody, think he brave enough. I've been the same and I ain't never changing up. I'm in my zone, hit up my cellular phone. Tell me what level he on. I took that scouter, he on them perks and that powder. Homie ain't really that strong, I'm like a dog. Better yet, Benny King, I keep a lion head on my pinky ring. I keep a shield. Boy, you see everything. Keep 43 symphony, let it sing.
You ain't too, you crazy.
so I need some assistance. Take the mics to him. The water. Hey, Shalom, how about you? How is Baraka Thumb? Can y'all hear me in Fayetteville? Salakia.
We can hear you loud and clear. How we sounding?
Y'all sound suave. Most High in Christ. So the other zones, I'm not sure. I see that y'all got that link. So I mean, I sent it out to everybody. So I guess we just waiting for them to join in. But I was just gonna go ahead and just start it off. So let me just check the audio online and make sure it's all good. Oh, that's I don't know why my Bluetooth is connected. Hold up, Shalaki. Yeah. Most High in Christ. Are we good? We can
check.
Yeah, that's too wild. We're gonna get it rolling. And yeah, whenever you're all ready, just let me know. Okay. All right, let's get it. Let's clap it up. Hey, Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Hashah Baraka Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathun Bashim Hashah to all the sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General YAHANNA. You understand? Been in operation since 1969, teaching the truth according to the Bible. That so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians are the true Jews, the true Israelites of the Bible. You understand? And you know what I'm saying? Of course, in accordance with being in operation since 1969 and teaching this truth, you know what I'm saying? We got these classes, we've been doing, again, since 69. You know what I'm saying? Today, of course, is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class. Also, if you have any questions, that's why I also titled the scripture breakdown. If you got any questions as well, you can get your questions answered as well, you know what I'm saying, as well. If you have any. So if you're watching online and you have any questions, you can just go ahead and just type it into the chat. You know what I'm saying? If you're in any of the zones, or whether you're here in Durham or Fayetteville or any of the other zones that will be joining us shortly, then you just go ahead and just, raise your hand. You know what I'm saying? One of the Akim will get to you, and then, they'll alert myself, Officer of 1000 Thabawan, holding it down until one of my Adawanyim take over the class. And they'll just alert myself, or if somebody's taking the class over by then, they'll just alert us, and we'll answer your question. If I have the breakdown, then I'll give it to you. If not, then we'll just hold it until one of the Adawanyim come through. Kwame Policy, you had something. That mic doesn't sound like it's on. Oh, there you go. Salakia. I thought it died or something. No, you go ahead.
Salakia. I wanted to see if you could give me like a general breakdown, Baba Kushah, of Psalms 55 verses 12 through 14. Those three. Like just a general breakdown on what King David was basically saying in this particular psalm.
Salakia. Just had to fix that. God, that's too wild. Most High in Christ. All right, where was you at again?
Salakia. Psalm 55 and 12 verses 12 through 14. Those three verses in particular.
God.
That's the meetup.
Okay, Psalm 55
Kanuka.
and verse 12. We want to start at 12 and through 15.
Okay.
So go ahead and read it, brother.
Khan, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 12. For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide, mine acquaintance. Verse 14, we took sweet counsel together and walked into the house of God in company. And that was the meat of it. Like down, like stop at 15.
So you want to know what King David is talking about right here?
Yeah, what was he referring to? Like a general breakdown. What is he referring to in this particular song?
Okay. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I'm gonna have you read it again in just a moment. Okay. Salakia. Okay, so verse 12, for it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me, then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide and mine acquaintance. Verse 14, we took sweet counsel together and walked unto the house of God in company. All right. Let death seize upon them. Let them go down quick into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. Salaki. I mean, I have an idea of who he's talking about, but I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to give you half or a quarter or a piece of an answer. You know what I'm saying? David said things like this often. You know what I'm saying? It's similar to when he said, you know what I'm saying? When he said, for my love, they are my adversaries. You know? So King David was always, you know, he was on the run and had to watch his back. Remember when Saul was trying to get him? You know what I'm saying? So he often, you know, in the, remember the Psalms is what? What is the Psalms? Psalms in general. What are they? What are the Psalms? You're right, but give me a better word. Yeah, Yanazar.
Songs.
That's exactly what they are. They're songs. That's why at the end of them you'll see what? To the chief musician. Right. So all the everything you read in the Psalms, you know, is akin to a rapper. You know what I'm saying? These are lyrics to a song that King David is quoting. Well, not quoting, is his words. So I don't want to say quoting because it sounds like somebody else wrote it. It's his words, but he's, you know what I'm saying, projecting these songs. Salaki, hold on 1 second. I sent the link to his Goldsboro and his personal. If I gotta resend it, I did.
I don't think he hear you. Can he hear you?
Salakia.
Oh, you ready, Bunky?
Salakia, Officer Top 1. We got Officer Zion at the helm.
Oh, Salakia. And with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer of 5,000 Zion Ya'ala.
Most High Christ. Turn the gain up on that one just a little bit, Corey. Check. Can you hear me, Tawab Top 1? Everybody can hear me. Most High in Christ. Get a Lord a hand, Salakia. Shalom. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, operating up under Commander and Junior YAHANNA. We're not affiliated with anyone. If you're not in I.S.U.P.K, you are not in the truth. What is the truth? The so-called Black, Hispanics, Native Indians descend from the greatest people that ever walked the earth. There's nothing more imperative in 2023 than the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians waking up to their true identity. What is that identity? That identity is that they belong to the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That these scriptures are written about 2 and 4. Oftentimes, our people deal with a lot of issues and troubles for simply not understanding who we are, for just simply not understanding the mercy that our Father has shown us as we live this life. Simply being disobedient, not being brotherly, not being sisterly to one another, And these things plague the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities. So if you listening to the classes right now, you're taking a look at your neighborhood and you wondering why the neighborhood is the way that it is and why nobody is getting along and why we have so much turmoil in our neighborhoods, all that turmoil come from our disobedience. And in our disobedience, our Father put a beast that is over us. You understand? And this beast that is over us, he has been a murderous bastard from the beginning. That's who he is. That's in his blood. The thing that was given to him was because of his wickedness that's in the earth. And he take everything by the sword. Our Father gonna give us everything that's in the earth simply because of our obedience. Right. So with that being said, I hope everybody understands that. All right. It's not hard. I know oftentimes you think there's a magic spell or something that somebody can say to fix your life. You understand? We think it's some kind of magic potion or something that we have to drink or specific brand of alcohol or right drug or medication or weed or something that can fix our life. That's not going to do it. You understand? Our life get fixed from us separating from the oppressor ways and us being obedient to our Father. If you look throughout the scriptures, that's what you will find. You will find a nation of people from the very beginning that's been obedient. And in that obedient, things went according to plan. But in that disobedience, you begin to see the destruction that was soon to follow. No matter when it was, whether we had a brother that was in charge of the nation that was obedient and raised his family according to the law, statutes, and commandments versus what everybody else was doing in the world. We see that in the, you know what I'm saying, even from Noah, you understand? Noah's family was following the law, statutes, and commandments while the rest of the world was marrying and doing whatever that they saw fit to please themselves. And guess what the Lord did? He destroyed that place. You see us in Egypt and how Moses came in and stood up and understood that it was more important that he died for his brothers and sisters than to live like the other nation. You understand? So in today's topic and today's issues that we have to wake up as a nation of people and see that our way of life in this empire, the way that we live and the things that we follow, the things that we celebrate, the things that we lend our spirit to, destroys us as a nation of people. So when you talk about us changing and being that thing that you know that you can be, it simply comes from us being obedient to Allah, statutes, and commandments. The Bible says, if you love me, what he said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So what we're seeing today, we're seeing a lack of love in every aspect that you can think of. You understand? From the old to the young. We just simply don't know how to love each other. We don't know how to love the Father. You understand? And it's that, and that's the key to every terrible thing that you ever experienced in life. Yes, the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He is the cricket that cannot be made straight. You understand? He's the murderous bastard, the Neanderthal. You understand? That's who he is, the megalomaniac. But what are we doing about our community and how we view one another? You understand? You can't change a snake. A snake is meant to slither on the lowest points of the ground. Our problem is we want to get down there and pet this goddamn snake, knowing that they bite. You understand? So earlier the brother asked the question. What was his question again, Bob Shaw?
It's like it's a true book on my part. A question on the book of Psalms, the 55th chapter, verse, the 12th verse. Like
the 12th verse,
12 through 14.
All right. So did he have did he just have a general question about it, or what was you?
He was looking for a general breakdown.
Can he read it for me, Bob Shaw?
Con, you got it.
Can you hear me?
Con, I can hear you, brother. I hear you fine.
All right. Con. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 12. For it was not an enemy that reproached me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me, that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. Verse 13. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. Verse 14. We took sweet counsel together and walked into the house of God in company.
And you say you just want a general understanding of what it was, right?
So, like, what was King David like referring to? Was this just like him just speaking? Like, because I know Officer Thabon was getting into it. He was saying like the book of Psalms is a book of songs, pretty much. It's kind of like lyrics. He compared it to song lyrics a little bit, like as far as like the book of Psalms. So I just wanted to know, like, was King David referring to something specific, or was he just speaking like in general, kind of like a poet in this situation? Well, not in this situation, but in this instance.
I had to get that with Captain Nod Thought, man, to be real with you. I mean, you can go into it just to look at it and understand what's being said, but the purpose of what's being said, we have to get from Captain Nod Thought if that's too wild.
Come.
Let me ask you a question. Why, out of all the things that you can go to a song, what brought you to this point in this scripture, though? I'm curious.
The way like he worded it, was he making a comparison? Like, was it just like a comparison? Like, how you just read stuff and it's like, man, what was King David going through? Like, was this like a comparison to him? Like making a comparison like in general with his life, or was he just writing as a poet? That's basically what I was saying. Like, what was he referring to?
Man,
because it was deep. What he was saying was so deep. And it's like, what could King David be talking about?
all right, so
making a comparison like a parable.
All right, so now we get somewhere. So what made it deep?
Just like what he was saying, just sounds like real life, like things that we go through as a people, just like in the streets. Like for some of us that was in the streets, it could be family members, like things that I go through with my family. It kind of reminded me of what David, talked about. Or it could be a marriage, it could be anything, a friendship, a bond. Like it just hit home with me, So that's why, it made me go to that. Like just looking back at it.
Sir.
Come on.
If I may, it sounds in general like a portrayal of a close associate or friend.
Or give me another word for it. Or what?
Salaki, sir.
Come on.
A brother.
A brother. We can get all the way into it, but I'd rather get what Captain I thought on this to make sure that we hammer it home. But if you read it, just reading, if we're talking about brotherhood, you understand, David, just to sum it all up from Salaki, I ain't gonna do it. I'll let Captain I thought get into it, man. But he's definitely talking about it, something he experienced as a brother, a friend, and really understanding the difference between, like, you can prepare yourself to fight against an enemy real easy. You understand? If you know that somebody's an enemy, you can be prepared to fight against that. You understand? You at war when you see somebody coming up and they got they sword drawn, or they pull their pistol out. You already know what's about to go down. It's somebody that's in disagreement. You understand? And this is looking as David just saying, like, man, that there's a lot that I can carry. There's a lot I can't carry. That's what he's breaking it down. But I'm not going to get into it. We're going to let Captain Nathak get all the way into it. And I ain't going to give you an official UPK breakdown because it's something that we teach, what I've been taught. You understand? Ain't no new breakdowns coming out of I.S.U.P.K. They come from the top down now. So Lord willing, Captain Nathak be here in a second, and he'll give you the official I.S.U.P.K. breakdown. And if he can't give it to you, then guess what? He know we can go and get it. And that's what makes this school so what it is to this very day. You understand? It's brotherhood and sisterhood, and it's built on everybody breaking down this thing, these scriptures together as a nation of people. Ain't nobody creating anything on their own out here. You understand? And it's been that way. And the thing that another thing that allows this school to grow and be as strong as it is, man, it's like willing to understand there's a brother that you can go to for counsel that'll give you what it is that you may not understand. Taking breakdowns things to you that you may not be able to see. Because oftentimes we don't know what, we don't know what life can throw our way sometimes. But there's a brother somewhere that knows. Say, hey, brother, you may want to do this way. You may not want to do that. You understand? And then that's what saves us as a nation of people. You understand? But Lord willing, Captain Nile, we'll just hold off on it. We'll get to it when Captain Nile get in here, Baba Kishar. Anybody got anything else? I'm gonna go into these topics. Shalom and Shukta. Hot topics, topic one. You got anything?
Salaki, I mean, there's a lot of things going on, but of course, a lot of people was talking about. Officer Yanazar came here today and told me some stuff I did not know about. So he told me that he was watching the class last night, watching the general, because I missed it. So apparently, them people in that, what's it called, a Titan, the Titan submersible.
Oh, not the school bus.
Nah, not that one.
Oh, not the magic school bus, not the magic submarine.
It wasn't magical at all. Because apparently, the only thing that was magical was apparently.
Hold on. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Concert.
The magic school bus, right? The magic school bus should be real big, and they shrink it. They be like, oh, we can go.
That's before some of these people's time, sir.
Yeah. Oh, Salaki. The magic submarine. Salaki.
Yeah. Officer Yanazar told me that when that joint imploded, a scientist broke it down, and come to find out that basically, in the span of a millisecond, everybody on that submersible, whatever it's called, turned into jelly instantly. When it imploded, it was so quick because it's 6,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. And so everybody on that submersible all converged into one jelly-like substance in the blink of an eye. And it immediately made me think of scripture. It's like it made me think of the scripture that says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Because these devils really think they can go anywhere.
Let's get the scripture. Let's get the scripture. Let's get the scripture on it there. Let's get it. What did you call this vessel, type of one? The submersible?
Submersible? Submersible or bull? Pause. Submersible, Salakia. Officer Bucky, y'all knows how to say it way better than me. It's a submersible, is what it's called.
Submersible. Am I saying that right, Bucky? Hey, Google, how do I say submersible? Submersible, that's what it's called. Google got it right. Submersible.
I got it, sir.
Now you can be smart any day now. Just ask Google.
Okay.
Come on.
This good night. The Google over here talk back. That's crazy. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Okay.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Now the question I would have in reading that, what gives the oppressor his pride? What gives him his pride? Anybody know?
One of the things, I think the most important thing that gives him his pride is that he believes that, he's greater because he's conquered all the nations of the earth. So that gives him the pride that he's greater and he's in a position of power and he thinks he earned it.
I want to stick to what you said, Yanazar. You said because he's conquered the nations of the earth. Be more specific in that phrase, Baba Kashaw.
Well, he's conquered the Lord's people and put them in slavery, taken everything they've had or everything that we've had, even our name, our reputation, everything. He's taken everything from us. So, I mean, you know, if I had done this to my enemy, I would have a little pride about it myself.
Let me ask you, come on, our boy.
Salak, if I may, sir, I would say his ability to be blessed with the sword. In this world, you know, the way you get things is with the sword. You get things by brutal might and force. And the oppressor is blessed with the sword, so nobody can see him on the battlefield. So to be a person that has never won, that has never lost a battle, that has never lost a war, that continues to fight and continue to evolve, he looks at himself as being God and says, "Who can take me down? I'm blessed with the sword."
He knows who he is. They know when it's submersible crumbles the way that it crumbles. They know that they are just merely animals. You understand? But when you look at a nation of people as Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, with the strength that we have and the ideas and all the gifts that the Most High gives us, and He's in charge of those gifts, when you think He'd be prideful as well? I was getting ready to read into an article that was talking about how most of these CEO owners or whatever, the CEO, whoever owns these companies, most of them are those are psychopathic. You understand? Most of them have real issues. You understand? So the fact that these devils are ruling over us, they really have some real issues. It's that pride that knowing that, guess what? If they're going to celebrate anything, they're going to celebrate my victories. You understand? If they're going to pray to a God, they're going to pray to Caesar Borgia. You understand? If they're going to eat, guess what they're going to have to eat? They're going to have to use my money to pay for what it is that they want to buy. If they want to put clothes on their back, they're going to have to buy the clothes that I provide for them. If they want to buy homes, guess what? All the timber, all the lumber, all the electrical supplies, everything that we want to purchase in the earth, guess who we have to go to get it? See, because of our disobedience, like this devil gets on top of us, and when you have to go to somebody who is less than you to get anything, it creates a sense of pride, man. It creates a sense of pride that, guess what? I can jump in a soda can and try to get to the bottom of the goddamn ocean, and I'll be safe. It creates a sense of pride where I can pull you over knowing that you've done nothing wrong and pull you out the car and still shoot you, right? And knowing I'll get away with it. Because I own all the news stations, Kowal. I own the radio stations. I won't allow you to have music that is, you know what I'm saying, that is strong, like the music that's producing I.S.U.P.K. I'll let you get fooled by YAHANNA. I'll take some of the worst ideas about music and put it into your community and make sure that that's what you guys are listening to. That creates pride. That creates a lot. It's like, think about this. What makes a circus a circus? What makes a circus a circus? Does anybody know what she say? You can repeat it, baby. Go ahead. The clowns? Yeah. Yeah, the circus got plenty of clowns. But what makes the circus an attraction for people to come in when I'm talking about the animals per se?
Salaki, sir.
Come on with it, Yonazar.
It's like the lure of unknown entertainment. Like,
no, that's not what I'm looking for. Anybody else? What makes a circus an attraction? Like when you're looking at the animals, what makes an attraction? Come on, y'all.
Like it, sir.
Come on with it.
Well, One thing that makes okay, so like the animals in a circus are an attraction because to a degree they're not doing really what they're supposed to do. Meaning, you go to the circus and you have like an elephant balancing on like a beach ball or a lion riding a tricycle or some nonsense, but it wouldn't be much of a circus if a lion was eating people. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying, shredding a gazelle to pieces. That wouldn't be which is what a lion is supposed to do. That wouldn't be a circus. But when the lion, you know what I'm saying, gets in a car and rides around, that's a circus.
Right. It's not a circus if the animal is really being the animal off its basic instincts. You understand? It's a
So
circus because what you call it, the ring, what you call it, the guy that does the thing?
the ringleader,
The ringleader, right?
is
Come on, sis.
Salaki, is it because of the control?
The control. He's able to turn his back on a goddamn lion. And the lion doesn't move, huh? Y'all get what I'm saying? He's able to, hey, Google, how much does a elephant weigh? Hey, Google, how much does an elephant weigh?
An adult male Asian elephant weighs on average 4,000 kilograms. An adult male Asian elephant weighs on average 4,000 kilograms. And I have 4 more answers.
4,000 kilograms. It's an elephant, and he waves this one, and the elephant stands up on 2 feet. And 8,000 pounds. An elephant, a full-blown elephant. Elephant gets up on 2 feet because he's waving this thing, and that's what makes it so amazing. You know the basic instinct of a lion, right? What's the basic instinct of a lion? To kill. He's a hunter. He's a fighter. He's not known to what? Lay down, right? Not in the wild, not in his natural element, but because there's a whip there, a little whip, and in our mind we thinking we all be waiting for the goddamn lion to lose his damn mind and attack him, right? But we be amazed because we be like, damn, he made the monkey flip upside down on one toe and jump through the fiery ring. Damn. That gives them a sense of what? A pride. It's almost like if I can spin it so Judites can understand this, it's like taking a Cane Corso, ain't it what they call them, Kowal? A dog that weigh by what, 250? Great Danes, sits, heel, roll over, down. And you see him walking that dog, you be like, God, I don't know who that brother is, but it get that same stigma about DMX, you understand? All that DMX, man, DMX was a crackhead, you know that, right? I'm just making sure we under, but the allure of being able to control dogs, well, real aggressive dogs, violent dogs, we're real like, oh man, he must be the dog whisperer. But when you take that, and if you're owner of a dog and you're able to tell that dog to heel, sit, roll over, play dead, what does that give you as an owner? What is that? What do you get from having that type of control over an animal?
Pride, sir.
You get it. Thank you, Yerma. Give him a hand, Baba Gashar. So when we look at our oppressor and the pride that he has, surely it comes from us just being disobedient to our Father, man.
Right.
And we render all our power, all our might, all our basic instincts, right? All the things that the Father gives us to be special, we give it over to him. The brothers with all the mights to be warrior and fight for their people, they become basketball players. They become Marshawn Lynch. All these famous doctors that come up with all these treatments to heal sickness. They end up working for Duke, Jeremiah. They end up working for what? what's the school of medicine here in North Carolina? Is it Duke? It is Duke, right?
Con.
That's what happens. And in doing so, the oppressor, like Yermak said, he gains that pride. Read that verse again, Bob Kushaw.
Come on, sir. Shalaki.
Mm-hmm.
Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
So, right, in his mind, he's filled with that because he's looking at our condition in the earth right now.
Right.
He does not understand that there's a school that's called the I.S.U.P.K. to understand the pride that he has is going to read it again. Read it again, Jeremiah.
So like I had it, sir.
Oh, top one, Salaki, brother.
Come on. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Yeah. See, he's going to be, see, us in this school, that's why it's imperative that we do the work that we do. You understand? We got to know that, guess what? He's a fool for thinking that he's defeated the nation of Israel. You understand that? He lost his goddamn mind if he think it's over and done with, huh? Right. Like my old man used to say, you talking outside yourself, boy. You don't fool yourself, man. So just when you think it all figured out, you like nothing matters, like gravity not even a real thing. You want to swim with sharks? Okay. You want to jump in a soda can and go down and find a Titanic, something that sunk. In your goddamn mind, you should think to yourself, this boat sunk. I know that I have, it's a possibility I may what? Sink too, right? The Negro ain't doing nothing like that today. I promise you. I know some Negroes, if you hit them with a water hose, they'll start crying in the face. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get my hair wet. Imagine a sister with that Yaki 35 talking about she getting on a submersible. Nah, she not getting on a submersible. I got a hair appointment at 6. She not doing it, huh? She ain't doing it. Brothers in the word, they not doing it either, Jeremiah. And brother be like, man, brothers in the word, they got hair appointments nowadays too. I get a lineup, brother. I got to be there on time. We ain't doing it, man. Come on with it, Jeremiah.
I was gonna say, if I could, we see how much pride they have, because we remember, thousands of years ago, where the so-called white man, he used to believe in what he called today his Greek mythology. He used to give credit to the gods that controlled the wind and controlled the sea and the ocean. But of course, over time, the truth of who God really is came out, and so now they can't believe in Poseidon because they know who God really is, and they know that the God of the Bible is the God of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So now they have to put their pride in their science. Mm-hmm. They got to put their pride in their money and their rulership over God's chosen people, because they can't believe in the God of the ocean no more.
Right.
Because they know the God of the ocean is the God of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Damn right. You damn right. So you right, Jeremiah. Just to add on to it, that they gotta put their money and their focus into their weapons now.
Right.
Like the Space Force.
God.
Huh? The Coast Guard couldn't get that can out the water fast enough.
Right.
What's the Little Mermaid daddy name? Titan? Titan.
It's like it's a.
Come on.
I'm about to say, if they believed in, like, there is no way in hell I'm jumping in that ocean after knowing what my people have done to God's chosen people. I'm not getting in that ocean. So
no. Hey, what Aquaman went down at the bottom of it? They make all these. Where the hell is Aquaman at, man?
Right.
Huh? They make all these.
Zion.
Come on with it.
And if I could, Zion, what's heavy about that whole situation is, our people, we're not supposed to try to figure out the secrets of the Most High. We're not supposed to figure out. Our commandment was to obey. was to obey the Most High, and the world, the earth will be ours.
Right.
Like that's how simple. And if you could get a scripture for me, Baba Kishar,
Please.
give me 1 Corinthians 1:27.
Hey, Salakia, out of one, if I may.
Go ahead.
Would you want me to just go ahead and turn the class? I'll turn the class over to you.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. You got the class. I just wanted to bring out this right here real quick, if you don't mind.
Kind of one concert.
The fact that that's what happens to Esau when he wants to. What he does is he wants to challenge God.
Right.
It's beyond believing who the God is of the Bible, who the true God of this universe is. They know who the true God of this universe is, but they don't. Just like Esau, he didn't love the God of this universe. He was willing to trade his birthright for a piece of bread, for food, because he's such a greedy bastard. And now that he can't be what we are and who we are, the chosen people of God, he has to try to gain that superiority another type of way, and that is by challenging the Most High. Like going in that depth, going in them submarines in that depth is defying the Most High.
Right.
It's a direct defiance to the Lord, saying, yeah, I can go down there and search about this thing that you created, and I bet you I can find the secrets down there.
Right.
And that's what happens when you try to do that.
Dang.
And us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we don't need to do any of that.
Right.
We don't need to try to figure out, if a black hole is real. We don't need to try to go to the next closest a star. We don't need to go and find the deepest ocean and find a megalodon. That's let the Lord have his secrets.
Right.
The Lord wants us to rule.
Come.
Sorry.
And all he wants us, the way he wants us to rule is by obeying. By just being like it's like you like some of us got children here. Your children, when they babies, they don't worry about how you provide the food or how you have these lights on in this house and how you can afford PlayStations and Xboxes, and they got all, nowadays your kids, our kids got everything.
Right.
They don't, and if they ever try to do that, they'll be confounded. They'll be like, well, how does my dad pay all these bills and afford these cars and so on and so forth? All we ask of them to do what?
Obey, sir.
Obey.
We obey.
Yeah.
As long as you obey, you can live in this house and have and just be a prince in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing with us and this earth and the Most High. All we have to do is like the General YAHANNA always say, all we got to do is just turn back to the Lord. All we got to do is obey God's laws.
Thanks.
All we have to do is quit smoking weed and and whoring out our women. That's all we have to do. Give me that scripture if you could. I'm gonna give you back to class. I just knew y'all was gonna be talking about the submersible, and I knew that Esau is such an idiot because he wants to be such a genius and defy God. And listen, Elon Musk said that in his journey to land on Mars, he knows there's going to be millions of casualties, thousands of casualties. But it's not about that. It's about saying I can be like God.
Right.
That's spiritual, man.
Yep.
The defiance of the oppressor, who is the devil the Bible speak of, is the very same thing that the Bible says about him. That he wants to be like God. He wants to defy God, and to be like God, you must go and search the deepest part of the ocean.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's like if I could, what you're saying on the one is just so heavy, like that scripture. You know what I'm saying? The scripture we pull all the time that talks about his. We really in it in Obadiah when it says his habitation is high. And the scriptures always use this metaphor of height. You know what I'm saying? Like he always wants to be high. He likes to live in the sky house. He likes to live in the skyscraper. He likes to be up high because he thinks high of himself. He
Yeah.
went to the moon because he thinks high of himself. You know what I'm saying? But all of that, like you said, Adawan, is just a manifestation of him trying to challenge the Lord. You know what I'm
Challenge
saying?
the Lord.
I'm gonna go to the moon because I'm, you know what I'm saying? I can be like God. You know what I mean?
Damn
I'm
right.
gonna live up 1,000 feet in the air, and I'm gonna go down to the depths of the sea because I can
Right.
be like God. Salaki.
But the beautiful thing about who we are in the ghetto, in the barrio, in the reservation, poor and oppressed and downtrodden, the beautiful thing about our salvation, it doesn't come with that. We don't have to become engineers. We can. There's nothing wrong with becoming a biologist, a engineer, an astronaut. Some of us, matter of fact, we're the reason they can do that.
Facts. Right.
We're the reason that the oppressor can accomplish all these things. But that's not how we're going to get out of our oppression.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get out of our oppression by just simply obeying, man, by simply coming in with your brothers and
God.
shalom. Like, it's so simple to be like, man, what do y'all do, man? Shalom, y'all about man. And just, hey, brother, and hang on and hang out with each other and go to camp with each other. That doesn't take a lot of engineering.
Right.
That just takes a lot of obedience, a lot of structure,
God.
and that's simple.
So like,
Give me that scripture, yes, and then we'll go ahead and give the class back to Zion.
what was it you pulled again, sir? 1 Corinthians, what was
1
it?
and 27.
1 and 27. I got it, Salaki.
Go ahead.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 27. But Yahweh hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise.
Man, listen. It is man, y'all brothers, you ever look at yourself at camp and be like, man, if I'm in the world, and then this was when you was in the world too, you're looking at it like, this is kind of foolish, man. To be out here calling the oppressor the devil the Bible speak of, you know, going against this kingdom and just reading out the Bible with on a Saturday when your family probably has got a lot of things to say about you.
Right.
But that's a foolish thing to a worldly man. And the Lord chose the Israelite school UPK and this brotherhood. To some people, it's foolish, man.
Right.
It's foolish to get off of weed, man.
Right.
How could you get off of weed, man?
Right.
How the hell you don't smoke weed? Like, how? You're a square. You're lame.
Right.
You're foolish to not be a gang member. But the Lord chose those things, those foolish things, to the world. But to the Lord, that's all he wants us to do is raise this kingdom for him. Read on.
Khan. And God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Man, listen, and we as a people, we're weak. We're weak, not in physical strength,
Right.
but we're weak in spirit.
Right.
We're weak in morality. We're weak to the world. And the Lord chose us to confound the mighty.
That's right.
Because when we get off of drugs and when we don't, when we don't whore out our women and when we don't murder our brothers, we'll grow so strong. We'll grow so strong that when the oppressor and his idiot ideas, they're going to listen. I heard them say, okay, yeah, well, everything's a risk. Yeah, everything is a risk. But when we serve the Lord, our risk can be minimized.
That's right.
So much.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
The Lord specifically said if we obeyed that he would be an enemy unto our enemies.
That's right.
That he would protect us. The scripture says, what's that said in Psalm 183 or 120 83 where it says the moon shall not what? Shall not smite the sun shall not smite you by day.
Right.
Nor the moon by night.
Mm-hmm.
That is
That's heavy.
That's how far. That is how far the Lord's protection will be to blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians when
That's
we come together and we obey.
That's right.
And we don't have to go figure out how deep and how much pressure the ocean is. We don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That is for the disobedient, defiant children.
Right.
And then they'll find out what it really takes to be empowered, man. And, is that it on that?
Wakanda, sir.
And like once again, Zion, that's a heavy thing you were saying, man. But us as blacks and Hispanics, we don't have to do much. All we got to do is join this brotherhood, man. All we got to do is come together and goddamn the oppressor and let him build more of those submarines.
Right.
Let him build the bigger ones that can fit 1,000 at a time, and let them go down to the Titanic and let them get rich while they're dead.
Yeah.
Go.
Hey,
Give it
Salak
up
got
for
one.
for that, man. The Lord did that. The Lord did that.
Hey, Salak, sir.
Go ahead.
If I could, if I could, I just want to say one last thing, and I'm gonna let them swim in peace. Salak. But if I could, can I get a brother to pull Psalms chapter 107 and verse 23? This going so heavy. This is like really just the mindset that the oppressor has, and that the oppressor, he isn't comfortable with just being in his rulership right now. He isn't comfortable with just ruling over the greatest people on the face of the earth here in America, and of course over the whole world. Like, he has to go and he has to figure out how he can control the skies.
Right.
He got to figure out how he can control the spirit world, how he can control the ocean and the ozone layer and space. He got to take over everything that the Lord has his hand on, because he just has to, you understand? He has to, you understand? But of course, we see what happens when he plays at that number, man. When he tried to go out to that ocean, that damn submarine or whatever it was, it imploded. They said that the heat got to the temperature of the sun, and they just melted. You understand? The bottom of the ocean. So I just wanted to pull the scripture if I could. If someone got it, verse 23.
Come on. So like you said, verse 3?
23.
23.
Mm-hmm. Read it for him, about.
Khan is the book of Psalms, chapter 107 and verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
They that go down to the sea in ships, that do business in great waters.
So they go down into the sea and they do business with these great waters, right? Keep going.
Verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
These see the works of the Most High,
and
his wonders in the deep.
So they curiosity. They go out and they do business in this water.
Right.
They do business in the space. They do this business where the Lord dwells. And they see the wonders. They get to see what they went to look for. Keep going.
For he commandeth and raiseth the stormy wind, which lifteth up the waves thereof.
For he commanded and raised the stormy wind, which lifted up the waves thereof. Meaning what? When you see them whirlpools, when you see them tsunamis, when you see them icebergs that destroyed the damn Titanic in the first place, you don't understand that the Lord controls that. The Lord controls whether them voyages on them sea is successful or not. The Lord controls whether the passageways that you try to make is successful or not, and whatever exploration you want to make. You understand? But they don't understand it. They think that they think that they are in control of it, that they got power over it. But if I could read one more.
Khan, verse 26. They mount up to the heaven. They go down again to the depths.
They mount up into the heavens. They get ready. They suit up. They put all their money into this. They put all of their science into this, all into their research. You understand? They go down again into the depths. Keep going.
Their soul is melted.
Their what?
Their soul is melted.
They do what?
Their soul is melted.
Their soul is melted because of what?
Because of trouble.
Because you weren't comfortable with just being in control of America.
Right.
You weren't good with just having the whole earth under your foot. You had to control the sea too. Well, now your body is melted for your trouble. And I hope you got to see exactly what you needed to see. I hope you seen the damn Titanic. And with that, I'm gonna let them swim in peace. So like it.
Give Yermak a hand, Bob, for sure. I think they did. I don't know how much they seen Yermak. that pressure down there, from what I hear, is trouble.
Good
But
night.
you know, out of the miracles that the Lord does in the earth, like, we should understand, like, our obedience is how we get free. When we came up out of the land of Egypt, what did the Lord do for us then? What did he do for us when we came up out of the land of Egypt? He parted the sea. And to this day, they're still trying to figure out, how did these Negroes get out of the land? How did they get away from the Egyptians? They try to say it was a low tide. They are still trying to find their science, which they take pride in, to go against the Lord, right? But we should have the faith and understanding that just think that, guess what? The Lord did it because of our obedience. You understand? And that's how we defeat any enemy that comes up against us. No matter what's going on, whatever, you don't need science to be obedient to the Father. Ain't no rhyme or reason, you understand, that you need to be obedient to the Father. If you say that you're an Israelite, if you really believe in what it is that you live for and what it is what we die for, that's the science that we need. I don't need a book to tell me that brotherhood is a weapon. You understand? I don't need a book to say that sisterhood is a weapon to understand it. Ain't nothing science can do about that. You understand? I don't need a science book to know that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. I can look at his actions. I can check out his countenance. I can look at the history. You know what else? And with the love that we have for our brothers and sisters, I can sit down and just read a book that says, what's the name of that book over there, Kawhi, that we read oftentimes? Tell the children our story, y'all. And you will find out who the devil is. And his defiant is to go, and how he wants to go against the Lord. His whole spirit of, for what is a birthright to me, goes against the Lord. When Israel was set up based on the birthright. How important it is a bloodline to run this earth, man. But his spirit has always been that. His spirit has always been defiant. So just like Jeremiah said, there are going to be more soda cans that try to go down in the ocean to try to figure out the missions of the Lord. But if what was it? I want to say Elisha. I want to say Elisha was asking. Was it Elisha? That was a prophet in the scripture that was asking about when the Lord would return, and he was like, "Well, can you weigh fire? Can you tell me how much pressure is the wind?" I'm paraphrasing. He asking about all these things that we live with from day in and day out. You don't have answers for that, but yet and still you want to ask these questions. What the oppressor and his what? And his pride has deceived. Had to see what? Who on the scripture? Go ahead.
You want what you just read, sir?
Go ahead.
Verse 26. They mount up to the heaven.
We're going back. For the pride have deceived. Mm-hmm. Obadiah, do want to say 10, 13?
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
The pride of thine heart.
The what?
The pride of thine heart.
Everything that Officer Lahab laid down and Officer Jeremiah, we're talking about the pride of the oppressor, man. It's simple. It's simple. They are some prideful bastards, man. And that pride comes from them looking at you every single day and knowing that you don't know who you are. Right. Knowing that we stripped your culture from you. Knowing that there are no fathers in houses like it should be. Knowing that, guess what? That Christianity is the way of life that destroys us, but yet instead we flock to those churches. Knowing that Christianity is a way of life for our people, knowing that the white Jesus is who they go and look at when they go into the churches. And when we go out on the street corners and say that YAHANNA, our king, who the word ignorantly called Jesus Christ, was an oppressor. You psychologically, you know how destroyed you would have to be to think like that. So you got to be that much, you know what I'm saying, going the opposite way when they come to serve the Lord. Right. You got to be damn near willing. You have to be willing to just risk it all to serve the Lord. And we look at the preaching prophets as they in the Bible. They did that. You understand? Commander General YAHANNA, he done that. The generals had set out the perfect examples, and the captains and the brothers that above me, they do it every single day. We can't let the normal be our normal no more, man. You understand what I'm saying? Our normal can't be normal no more. Because these prideful bastards would jump in a soda can to try to go see something down in the ocean. Our people won't stand 5 minutes outside of camp and listen to you teach the truth of the Bible. Right. They're that psychotic for what they want. When are we going to be psychotic for what it is we want? What are you willing to risk to prove that you really love the Lord? How much pride you going to have in this truth? Huh? Are you going to look for an excuse not to do the work? Do you want absolute rulership over the earth? Or are we going to continue to make excuses? Because them devils are willing to jump in the goddamn soda can to go down to the bottom of the ocean. You understand? They set up an entire system that's designed for us to be destroyed. They got millionaires that invest money in prisons with nobody in there at first. But when they build these private prisons, what do they say? We promise you we'll fill that prison up. How much you think it costs to build a prison? Huh? They build that thing, Kawal, with the expectation that niggas, spicks, wetbacks, we gonna fill it up. You understand what I'm saying? They build more schools with the expectation that guess what? You're gonna learn American history. There's a factory somewhere that is putting together another American flag.
Salaki said,
come on with it, Yerma.
Between $400 and $750 million.
God. So build a prison, and they do it with the expectation that we are destroyed, man. They build it based on their what, our boy?
Their pride, sir.
Their pride, huh? It's pride. It's pride that they know that we are destroyed. But thank the Lord, Commander General YAHANNA he ain't gave up, man. He didn't give up. Hell no. Because his pride has what, our boy?
Have deceived thee.
Oh my goodness. You build these prisons, you've been what? Read on.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Go ahead.
Whose habitation is high.
Yeah, you have your habitation. Your habitations are high. That's where you like to be at. You like to put yourself above everything. Skyscrapers and mountains and hilltops and the hills of Georgia, Russia. You understand? That's you. With your thin nose. I ain't gonna get into that. Come on, our bud.
That saith in his heart.
That says what?
In his heart.
He says what?
In his heart.
What does it mean when he said in his heart? His pride had deceived thee, and he said in his heart what? What did he say in his heart?
Who shall bring me down to the ground?
Why is he saying this in his heart? Because he's on high already, right? What does it mean to say something in your heart, Baba Gashar? What does that mean in the scriptures? What does it mean?
So I can say
not you. Nadiyab. What does that mean, brother? When it says saith in his heart, Baba Gashar.
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
He's saying like in his head he feels like no one can stop him.
Come on, give him a hand. You understand? How many things that you have twirling around in your mind that didn't go as planned? You understand? Oh man, you say man. What they say? Man planning God's laugh. And then what they say? You looking at an app on your phone talking about it's not gonna rain today, but now you're sitting in the drop top soaking wet in a suit. How you say it, Bucky? Y'all in a silk suit, trying not to sweat, huh? Yeah. That's how it goes. You make all these plans about what it is that you're going to do. But we know we know who we serve. We know the only true living God. You understand? And he's on our side. He know the hairs that's on your head. But we got to be willing to have that same pride and have that same veracity when it comes to serving the Lord as well. We got to have some zeal when it comes to doing this work. You can't just talk about it, man. You got to make sacrifices. You got to be willing to risk it all, man. I ain't saying jump on no goddamn soda can and try to go to the bottom of the earth, but just show up for camp. Huh? Show up for class. Come to the Passover. Keep the high holy days. Be a brother. Be a sister. Then let's see what happens. You took that oil on your head, make it mean something, goddammit. Make it mean something. Or you can, the oppressors going to the bottom of the ocean looking for pearls in a soda can. And there have to be tons of research that was done. Thaba One, I'm gonna get on Thaba One level right now. They had to have been tons of research that had to go into building this thing and say at 3,300 meters, this soda can should exhibit some type of pressure. You know what I'm saying? You got to build some type of O-rings or seals or something to know, like, you know what I'm saying, Kawal? The president say, nah, we can make it. That bastard, he said, nah, we can make it. That's why when you look at the circus, at some point, them lions get tired of getting hit by that goddamn whip. And what do Negroes say? Oh, that lion won today, huh? I see something the other day. It's called the ultimate, what you call it when you get in the ring with the bull? Yeah, the bullfight. But the new game, Bunk, y'all, they don't have what they call the matador. They don't do that no more, Kawal. They just get in there and entice the bull. Like, come on. See the bull. Pow! The bull just tear them up, man. What would make an idiot get in the ring with a goddamn bull like that, huh? Only one thing that would make him do it. What is that? Pride. Niggas ain't getting in no ring. Our ring is living life in this empire every goddamn day. Your ring is in the car driving home. Who is that?
Chuba Nadia, sir.
Come on, Nadia.
They actually, I don't know if you know or not, but they use the bull to symbolize us. It's a symbol of us.
Yeah. Give him a hand. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ, the water. It makes sense now. Ain't that something? So the pride was that.
So like if I could, Zion.
Who is that? Come on.
And it just goes to show how different blacks and Hispanics are from the oppressor.
God.
From the very beginning, we were like husbandmen. We wanted to be chilling. Like we ain't trying to go to the top of the tallest peak of the mountain and die. They die all the time on that Mount Everest, and they still go every year.
Mm-hmm.
They thrill seekers, man.
Thrill seekers. Watch this. Watch. I'm gonna get out the scriptures right quick. You got it. Who got it? Yeah, Genesis 25 and 23. Baba Gashar.
Khan, it's the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 23. And the Most High said unto her, two nations.
To what?
Two nations.
To what?
Two nations.
Two nations. Come on.
Are in thy womb.
Are in thy womb, right? So obviously we not. The Lord is using this to let us know this not a small matter. You understand? This is something that He's about to create that's going to be on a grand scale. Cause we know now you have a family that's pretty big. You understand? But the Lord is referring to these things that are in their womb, in her womb, as nations. Right. So it's bigger than just a family, right? It's going to become bigger than just a family. Read on.
And two manner of people.
Two what?
Manner of people.
What does it mean to be two manner of? Somebody find manner for me, Bob Kershaw. Officer Lahal, that was heavy. Because I'm trying to get a brother jump in a. You can't get a brother jump in a Chevy to go down the street nowadays. Huh? What does it mean to be? What does it mean to manner? What does that mean?
Says manner in the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, a characteristic or
hold on, slow it down. Yeah.
A characteristic.
A characteristic. Come on.
Or customary mode of acting.
What's the next definition?
Characteristic or distinctive bearing.
A distinctive what?
Bearing.
Bearing, meaning what you're going to allow to happen, right? You gotta. You ever heard this phrase? Have some bearing about yourself, right? The oppressor, he has no bearing because he's full of what? Pride. That's his character. That's why he can look at you and talk the way that they talk to us. He's full of pride. Let that submarine would have been successful. Let them go down there and find. Let them. If Lord would have allowed them to go down there and find any trace and bring any piece of the Titanic back, you know how many more devils would have been trying to get on that goddamn ship? What's the balloon that blew up? The Hindenburg? What they call it? Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
It was the Hindenburg. It was the Hindenburg.
They told them that filling this goddamn thing up with this gas, it had a potential of blowing up, like exploding. How many people died on the Hindenburg? What's the goddamn thing called? Look at Jonas on my the history expert. He got
they filled it up with hydrogen.
Hydrogen, right? No, and good and goddamn, and you apply fire to it. Come on, man. Not knowing that if you go so high with hydrogen, it's going to level off, right? Look, we even know that today. How many people?
Salaki, if I could, Zion.
Come on.
and like you're right. Let them have had a successful trip down there. Let the oppressor have anything successful. They'll oppress us even more.
Ooh, he gonna run it in the ground. They're gonna run it in the ground. But I would care to say, knowing them devils, they only told us what they wanted us to know. They'll tell you that they're looking for the Titanic, but they're down there looking for some way to rule the goddamn or some lost treasure on the Titanic or something. You know what I'm saying? Come on with it.
Slock and Mesa trying to stop us from being a nation, as the scriptures say.
Come on, man.
If I could,
how many people died on that damn thing?
I got the Slock and say if I could, I got a precept.
36 people. And they knew it was gonna explode, Bunk, y'all.
Right.
They told them that, guess what? Scientifically, this see, but when we envy the oppressor, we exhibit a lot of those same characteristics. Because when you read a goddamn cigarette box, it says this is exposure to cancer. But you are fired up anyway. That's the oppression that we face when we look at him and be like, oh, he's living in his kingdom while we're suffering in his kingdom. You understand? Come on, our boy.
Keep going with that scripture, sir.
Where was you at?
Was that Genesis 25?
Yeah, we were two manner, right? Two different characteristics, right? Two different style. Jacob was a daughter. Jacob a plain man. Esau is the one that would sit in a damn tree and pour deer urine all over himself. Right? It's no different than what's the devil that used to play with all the animals all the damn time and end up dying from a Steve Irwin. This got to be the most dangerous lion I've ever seen. Just just playing with the Most High, like, man, you don't know. No. Steve Irwin, now he in the ocean playing with a goddamn stingray. Just think about what the Lord is going to do to the oppressor when he show up. And like, these are my people who you've chosen. The scripture say his reward is going to be what? Double. We're going to fill his cup up, Kawal, for what he done to the children of Israel. What were you holding again, our about?
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 23.
Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
Come on.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
We shall be separated. But once we trying to join with these oppressors, trying to live the life that they live, trying to get along like that stinking MLK was trying to get us to do, and it didn't work. It's never going to work. It's like water and oil. It just never going to mix right. You put water and oil in your engine, any real mechanic, you take your car to the dealership and they find some water in your oil. What did they tell you, young man Darash? You know this. What did they say? You know?
Either you're going to need to flush it out or need a new engine.
You got to get a what?
New engine.
You got to get a new engine, man. Why? Because it destroys the purpose of what it's intended to do. Like when we begin to live like the oppressor, it destroys us. It makes us weak. We should look at things like going down to the depth of the sea and seeing what happened and be like, you know what? If he's stupid enough to jump in a goddamn soda can and try to fight the Titanic, maybe I should not listen to a damn thing that they try to teach us. You know how much pride you have to tell somebody, this is Jesus right here. But when you look in the Bible, what did it say? You get what I'm saying? Come on. They show us like the picture of Caesar Borgia, right? But when you read the Bible, that description ain't nowhere in there, man. You know what they're saying in there? They say we should all join hand in hand and get along. But when you read the Bible, it's nowhere in there, man. It's nowhere in there. And these are the people that we choose to listen to. How? Why? Because he is a murderous bastard. You understand? And we dealing with the oppression that we deal with from day in and day out. It just, if you're not strong, it gives it can be overbearing, Babu Kashaw. But when you learn your purpose and what we're supposed to be doing and keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments, that's where real strength comes. That when you gain real knowledge. All right, we off the soda can. What else you got, Yonazar? Before I get in my topic, what time is it? Too late? 8:32. Come on, Yonazar. What else you got, brother? I can get you one more.
Pertaining to what, sir?
I don't know, but I know you got something. I know you well enough to ask.
Okay, sir.
Uh-oh.
So like it's like one of my pastimes is trying to get information for the brothers, and one of the things that I saw, since we're talking about the pride of Esau, is that they say, this is what they say, that they saw a comet, and they believe that the comet is made out of gold, that most of the comet is actual gold, and that in the future they're going to figure out a way how to get it and bring it.
So hold on. If I'm not mistaken, a comet is on fire, correct?
It's an asteroid, or no, most comets are gas, right? Or liquid. But this particular comet, it's like a big. This is what they're saying.
Hold on, don't go too fast. I'm just trying to let me understand. Let me gather my thoughts on this, Yonazar. A comet is traveling at the speed of, it's traveling faster than the speed of light, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Nowhere near it. So, they say they got this machine, sir, That
Oh,
it's
come
like
on. Oh my God.
it's a camera, right? And it has different spectrums of light. Like it could tell what kind of elements is in a particular body in space. Like
A spectrophotometer.
yeah, something. Yes, sir. And so they said this one particular asteroid or whatever is like 75 to 90% gold.
And they want to capture it, huh?
Yes. That's all I got for today, sir.
Negroes don't play baseball if that pitcher's too good. You understand? Let John smoke so they get. What's some of them? What's some of my brothers down there?
Greg Maddox.
Yeah, yo, you know what I'm saying? Let me get on the mound. Brothers be like, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend like I swung at the ball. Be like, you know what? No. And you mean to tell me these devils want to jump on a goddamn rocket, huh? Oh my goodness. That's pride, huh? They're just so fascinated in becoming God. And you know what? But our problem is we live a life that allows them to think that way, man. We live a life that says he's our God as a nation of people, when that's a lie. That's not true. It's not true. A spectrophotometer. Well, I tell you, Yanazar.
So Salakia.
Come on with it.
So I think what Yanazar is trying to say is that they claim that if this is the same thing, they claim that if they could just mine that asteroid, it will solve the whole entire Earth poverty problem. But knowing the oppressor, you know that's only going to make it worse.
He's the problem with the shortage of every goddamn thing that's on the earth. He's the cancer that's already on the earth that's causing all the goddamn destruction. He's the problem. And the only way that they don't understand that they're the problem is because they are filled with what? With pride. Their judgment is skewed, right? If I'm not mistaken, that was a sister that was shot, and they said they couldn't find enough evidence, huh?
Come on, sir. Salaki, sir.
Please.
I got the story on the asteroid.
Come on.
If I could, sir.
Give me a synopsis of it, Yonazar. Let's go.
Okay, a quick synopsis. One of the biggest asteroids in our solar system is the SHALAM, the 16 SHALAM asteroid. Is made up of gold, nickel, and iron, and it's supposedly worth more than the entire Earth economy.
Let me. This is a question I have for anybody out there that's listening to the I.S.U.P.K. If they ever catch it, do you think they're gonna let the Negroes know about it? Do you think they're gonna tell you that they caught something that's gonna free you? Gonna make you wealthy, huh? Oh, about yeah, man. I got the lucky. Niggas don't even share lottery numbers, huh? It's 2023, and here we are talking about black people. We just getting on to what it's called generational wealth. That's the new phrase. It's 2023. Now all of a sudden we have to be generational wealth, bunk, y'all. You think they was thinking about generational wealth in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s? We're doing the same thing that they was doing. That's fighting for our lives, but they convinced us that somehow life is better. But when you know the truth of what we're dealing with, we know that all these things that they give us are just trinkets to cover up who he really is. Give you those little coins, those little off days, those you got the 4th of July getting ready to come up. Guess what you're gonna begin to see pop up here, Amok? You're gonna see all these red, white, and blue stations that begin to pop up. 2 for $3, 3 for $4. And guess what they're gonna say? Hey man, they got them deals down there on what? On the firecrackers. And every year, guess what? Somebody gonna lose a thumb. Somebody gonna lose a finger or an eyeball to something that does not involve them at all.
Right.
Happy 4th. And if we're going to celebrate those things, if we celebrate the oppressor's victory, he's going to have a sense of what about that, our boy?
Pride, sir.
Pride. But I would encourage every brother and sister that's listening to Commander General YAHANNA, who's over the I.S.U.P.K, we should have a sense of pride about how we live our lives and keeping these law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? We got to start there, Kawal. The oppressor is going to be the oppressor. It's who we are that really matters in the earth. Because if we are what thus says the Lord, then we'll be above all the other nations that's on the face of the earth. Huh? Because you got to remember, we're two different manner of people. We're not their nation. You understand? We can't live the way that they live. Can't do it, huh? And I don't know too many of us looking, what you call the thing that you look through to look up there? Telescope. Koala ain't told me about no comet filled with gold flying around Fayetteville, North Carolina. Koala called me, hey, officer, I see the comet flying around, brother. Let's get a spectrometer. Only Jimmy Neutron come up with stuff like that. Him and Dennis the Menace, that's who coming up with all this madness, man.
It's a lucky, sir. I sent you the article, sir.
The water, Yanazar. Good night, man. Salakia, I'm gonna get a couple of scriptures before we get up out of here, man. Tonight we going to the Brotherhood class, and we just going to different topics. Like Captain, I thought I always try to just ask questions around the class and see if anybody had anything they want to, you know what I'm saying, jump into for the scriptures. But I want to go into something real quick before we get up out of here. That goes into Brotherhood. Let me get the book of Leviticus 19 and 17, Baba Kushaw. The book of Leviticus 19 and 17. That was it. Anybody else wanted anything they wanted to, and what's his name?
Come on, sir.
What's my brother name? Kwamapar and Salakia Kwamapar. Maybe we'll get to Captain Nathot be able to get your question next week. And if he can't get it next week, just if you can text me the scripture, maybe we can get it to him, okay? Come on with it.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's it on that?
I am the Most High.
What is the Lord asking us to do right here? In verse, let's start with 17.
So I can make sure. It's telling us not to hate your brother, not to separate yourself from your brother.
True.
And to rebuke thy neighbor, basically, and not suffer sin upon him. Don't allow your neighbor or your brother to sin. Don't, enable him, but rebuke him instead of allowing him to do things that that will cause him to sin or separate you from your brother.
Mm-hmm. So when we say thou shalt not hate thy brother, what is it saying? This is a commandment, right? So what is it saying? You shouldn't hate your brother. What you're saying is right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Let's just slow it down just a little bit so that way if somebody first time listening to class, they can understand that guess what, in I.S.U.P.K, we're taught to break down scriptures. But we don't filibuster it here, you understand? We break down scriptures. Ain't no filibustering.
Right.
And neither we jumping in no goddamn tuna cans going to the bottom of the ocean. You understand?
So like I said,
come on with it, Yerma.
If I could, as far as it says to not hate thy brother in thy heart. And of course, your heart is your mind. And a lot of times, especially in the black community, the hate that you see is because, we feel a certain type of way about a brother. We think a brother done wronged us. And because we ain't following the scriptures and going to he and thee alone, we allowing them thoughts to build up in our mind. And then, of course, in the future, them thoughts turn into actions, which will be hatred against our brothers.
Right.
So even if you, like the Lord saying, if I think that I.W.B.A.D. says something about me, if I even think that, you know, Officer Lahab did something to me that was wrong, then I'm wrong, because I should be going to him when I have those thoughts.
Right.
So,
Right. You can't even leave that room with your brother. Huh? Like, we can't leave that room. Huh? That room is where the oppressor comes in and say, "Hey, buddy, you want to go with me to the bottom of the ocean?" You know what I'm saying? We can't. We don't. The Lord didn't allow us to. He gave us specific commandments to make sure that that does not happen with us. You understand? We can't have that. That's why when brothers and sisters come into the school, that's why Commander General YAHANNA, this is it. This is the fix, to be in a place and to think that a brother has something against you, well, sooner or later have you stop coming to that place. You get what I'm saying? This ain't it. You're not going to come in here and pretend like, oh man, I don't know. No, if there's something that you're thinking, fix it. If there's a thought about something that you think a brother has done, even if it's just, if you thought and you ain't said that, and that's on you. That's on you. And in I.S.U.P.K, we raise men. You understand? That's not Esau. He's a different manner of people. You understand? He'll set a trap for you. Y'all know, if you ever work with Esau, you know he'll tell you, hey, you Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, you know, we run a little late everywhere, Kawal. You run a little late at the slave. And when the oppressor finally come to you, he say, "Oh, I noticed you've been running late. But you thinking he only caught me this one time." Hell no. He done caught you about 20 times. He just ain't said nothing. He done dug a ditch for you. Done made it so that you know you're gonna be running late. Your favorite parking spot, he put a cone there so you gotta walk around through the front door. Huh? That's the bastard that you dealing with. As brothers, we can't allow that space, Come on with it, Bunk, y'all.
No, Salaki, I don't want, if I may, to add on to what Officer Yarmak was saying, he's absolutely right when it comes down to those thoughts. See, in our minds, we criticize and, critique each brother, Now, if you're not holding true to your office, that's one thing.
Right.
But just on the strength of not liking the way the brother wear his hair or his pants or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We criticize each other sharply in our own minds instead of us, giving each other, being compassionate to one another. I don't want a brother to think ill of me because, that nigga think he knows something. You know what I'm saying? And that happens. We're so quick to pass judgment on one another instead of giving each other the benefit of the doubt, which is what we're taught in the academy. Thinking good about your brother instead of thinking ill about him. Salakia.
And in here, we don't do that. There is no space for us to do that in here because we know who the real enemy is. You understand? The enemy is full of pride and he is trying to destroy all of us. So, in other words, we can't hold grudges against one another. We can't do it. You can't secretly have something against a brother or sister. Get rid of it. Because what it really doing is making you weak. The bond that you would have with a brother or sister is making you weak. It making you a Salaki for the children. The children are here, yeah. I love the kids. I love them. I want them to come to class too. Because it's imperative that they grow up in this life. You understand? We don't want our children to be like I was. 30 years old, still saluting the flag. Still celebrating my goddamn birthday. Huh? Having random acts of, whatever the word for it, PG word for it. What's the PG word for it? Pleasure that comes with sleep. All right. I can say that one. Huh? Intercourse. Man. All those things make you weak. I tell brothers all the time, your real strength is about what you don't give away. You understand? When you reserve your love and your compassion for your brother, like it makes you stronger. When you give it to anybody without them earning it, it means nothing. That's why the oppressor said, walk up to us at camp, I love you guys. I love you. And obviously, how would I break it down to him? If you love me, go to this, 1 John 3:18. As soon as you start reading them scriptures out, them different manner of people, they begin to wiggle. They begin to sweat a little bit. Because, you know, they get nervous then because they be like, damn, what are they going to say that I don't know already? Huh? That pride began to dwindle, right? And then you hit them with that Isaiah, but then they be like, then they got to make a decision. Am I going to be a prideful, or am I really sorry for what my forefathers have done to the Lord's chosen people? And if the Lord is with us, we'll get a boot kiss. But some of them devils are full with pride. They'll sit there and jostle with you all day, talk to you about 10 minutes, mess up your about speaking. My brother be going in and Yeremot be like, what? Then you got to slow all the way down to talk to this devil. And then they pride kick in Yeremot. And then you know it. And in that moment, you realize he is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Read on our bar. 18.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. So thou shalt not avenge. Here's another commandment, right? This is the order. What does it mean to avenge? Anybody know? What does it mean to avenge?
Like it, sir.
Come on with it.
Like payback.
Payback. That's us right there. That ain't Israel. I don't know who is. We deal with the sense of what we call a get back. I gotta get me, Kawal. Yeah, I get my lit back. Come on.
It's the Merriam-Webster definition of avenge. To take vengeance.
To do what?
Take vengeance. For or on behalf of. To exact
Hold on. To take vengeance on the behalf of what? Yourself. That's not going to bring us together. All right? You getting your lit back is not going to bring us together.
Right.
Going to counsel is what makes us strong. You understand? Sometimes you will learn out some of the ways that you think was right may not always be right. All right? And the person who you think done you so wrong may not have done you as wrong as you think they have.
Right.
But if you don't have the mindset to fix it, you're going to create that gap. You're going to create that gap that we saw like in the brother Salakia, the brother who lost his life hitting on that woman in the wing spot. You know what I'm saying? And the brother didn't understand. Nah, man, this my sister. I ain't got no business hitting this sister. And sister, whatever she could have said or whatever the argument that they could have had, maybe they could have resolved that. But yet instead, now we got a loss of life. But I'm gonna tell you something about even with what was I can't think of the that was in Chicago, right? The story that went on about the 14-year-old that shot the man supposed to be he was avenging his mother, right? But one thing I do know about this about real life, if you take somebody's life out, that's something you're gonna carry for a very long time, for the rest of your life. That picture does not get out of your head out. If you ever seen real blood leaving somebody's body out, that's not something that you can't evade that. You're not gonna at 14 years old, he'll never forget it.
Right.
That child gonna need some real counseling. The mother who if you a person that anybody ever been punched in the face before? That's traumatizing, huh? I'm talking about somebody and swell you up real good. It's traumatizing, huh? You serious? Think about the worst beating you ever got in your life.
Salaka.
Negroes be 40 years old cutting down all the switches out the yard. Your rib be looking at you like, why you cutting out the flowers now, baby? You don't understand. Come on, Yerma.
So like I said, if I could just like on that vengefulness spirit, that sometimes that's a demon. Like 'cause I know in the streets, like everyone always speak like if they off me, you know, y'all gotta ride, y'all gotta roll on them, y'all gotta get back and pay back and this, that, and the third. But you understand when you truly love your brother, like Tabawan is my right hand man. He's my brother, like to the T. If someone came in this house right now where I'm at and took my life, my love for my brother Tabawan would never expect him to go and pick up arms and go and ruin his life so now his son don't have a father. Right. And so now his wife don't have a husband ever again. I would rather my brother live, and I would rather all my brothers in the truth to live, you understand it, in my stead, and not to go and cause havoc in the streets because of some idiot, you know, that did something to me, and allow the Lord to deal with me because that's who we got on our side anyway.
That's right.
The Lord. You know, so like it.
Give my hand, Most High in Christ. That's where we have to be at. Read verse 18 again.
So like Mason, if I can read the second definition.
Yeah, please.
Says to exact satisfaction for a wrong by punishing the wrongdoer.
There you go. Avenge. Read that verse again. So now we know what it means, right? So read it again.
Verse 18, thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Of who?
Of thy people.
Come on.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor.
Thou shalt do what?
Love thy neighbor.
This is how you fix it. That vengeful spirit, that's not how you fix it. But this is how you fix it. Come on.
As thyself.
If you love your brother or sister like you love yourself, that's how you fix it. Akim, that's how we fix it. And that's a challenge if you're looking for a real fight or a real war to do that, battle yourself every single day that you wake up. Battle yourself. Battle them thoughts that's in your mind that puff you up, that'll have you thinking that you're full of pride as well. Battle. You have to learn to battle those thoughts. And say, "Oh, my righteousness is as a filthy rag. I'm gonna be a brother." It's easy to, I'm telling y'all, it's easy to be like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Oh, you think you got away with it? Oh no. Mm-mm. And then, and Lord forbid somebody be around you, Lord forbid there's an audience monk, y'all. Ooh. Judites lose they death. I don't know. I was the Lahab. Is that the same thing? Like with that's for Isupk. I mean, Isupk too, right? Ooh, what? Lord forbid there's an audience, Something has to be done at that moment, right? That's why the scriptures say you're supposed to go to him and him alone.
So like a sir.
Come on with
your pride's on the line then.
Yeah, your what?
Your pride.
Your pride is on the line, going right back. That's damn near like jumping in the goddamn ocean in a can. Because you don't know what is going to happen next. You don't know what can happen next. Ooh, He said your mama got such and such and such. And I thought that how we used to do it back in the day. The baddest man hit my hand. Ooh, hit my hand first. So, who said that? Top one. Got to be a cat from New York. That was top one, wasn't it? No, it wasn't top one. We can't allow that. And like Yerma said, we can't have that space in between us. As brothers and sisters, the Lord, that ain't what he wanted. These are commandments on how to make our nation strong. You don't see pride nowhere in there. This is a sacrifice this is a sacrifice. This is a sacrifice that's made instead of you doing what you think is the right thing to do. Allow the Most High to do it. He know what he want. Trust and believe that. You may think you know what you're doing, but the Lord knows. He knows for sure. Surely. Drop that. Let me get Matthews 18 and 15 real quick. Get up out of here on this last one.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
You shall do what?
Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Man, do that. Do that. Leviticus 25 and 17.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 25 and verse 17. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another.
You should do what?
Not therefore oppress one another.
Come on.
But thou shalt fear thy power. For I am the Most High, your power.
Don't have that between y'all. Don't have that space between y'all. Don't start doing stuff to oppress your brother. Don't start just you said, well, it was random. You randomly doing things against your brother, being like the oppressor, full of pride. Don't be like these politicians. Don't be like these preachers. You understand? Don't do that to your brother. Instead, do this. Read that verse again.
Ye shall not therefore oppress one another. But thou shalt fear thy power.
What does it mean? But thou shalt fear thy power. Don't do that. Instead, do this. Why? Why is it saying that? Read.
For I am the Most High, your power.
Right. Now, why is the Lord saying this, though?
So like a mason, because if you love your brother, you won't oppress your brother. And if you fear the Most High, you love your brother.
If you love me, if you fear me, if you understand who I am, if you understand that I'm the God of your forefathers,
right?
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you understand that who I am and what you're supposed to be doing, then you would not oppress your brother. Understanding the Lord is to understand how you should treat your brother or sister. You understand? Loving the Lord is understanding how you should treat one another. That's how you do it. If you see how the Most High doing all this work that's in the earth, He's in control of all the things that you seeing in the earth and be like, damn. You ever seen a car wreck and be like, damn, that look rough there. The Lord, that's the Lord. You ever see there's a thunderstorm in North Carolina last night, right? They said they were saying they seen red lightning. that was the Lord. Well, if you're not treating your brother right, don't you think we serve a Lord that sees that? If you're not treating your sister right, don't you know that we serve a God that sees that? Just like He's seen them oppressors trying to jump in that soda can and go to the bottom of the sea. They didn't jump in a Pepsi can bunker, y'all. They jumped in a 7-Up. They jumped in the RC Cola can. Oh. Man, but tonight is a brotherhood class, man. We went over a couple brotherhood scriptures, man, and just understanding that we're two different nations of people. We have two different manners, man. These bastards, they pride themselves out making sure that they are above us. We have to pride ourselves in making sure that we are taking care of one another. We pride ourselves in knowing how to treat one another and being brothers.
That's right.
And we don't have a jump in a soda can. We don't have to go out of space.
Right.
There's a brother that's right next to you, that's in the school, that's serving the Lord with us, that we are all willing to die for.
That's right.
And with that, I'm gonna turn the class over to Yonazar.
Come on.
Come on, sir.
Put him on the main screen. Number one.
Come on. Yeah.
Okay, security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, which means 10th in the Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation will be the feast of the, the blowing of the trumpets on September 15th, Friday, September 15th. Okay, I think we're going to do that in Charlotte, right? In Charlotte?
Con, yes. Con.
Remind Akim and Akwatian to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, men of Israel, Imajim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim Barak, Yahweh. Yajimataz, sisters. Stars turning faces, sisters. Sisters, Imajim, which means is to stand. Men of Israel, we give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim Barak. Yajimatah, class dismissed.